I was massively flattered by the reaction to my last video. I got like over 500 views, and I didn't even know this until literally like 6 months later when I checked it in order to help out a mate who was making a video blog, and I was like, holy I've got 26 subscribers. I've had my other account for like 3 years, and I've had 18 subscribers in that entire time. I'm not going to tell you what this other account is because, you know, I'm just this guy you know at the moment, and if I do, then kind of ruins the mystery, you know. I have like a blindingly white light down here so that I don't look quite as knackered as I feel after 6 months of night shifts. But I can't complain because the night shifts are working on an awesome series which is called ALCATRAZ. I can't tell you much about it because I'm under a non-disclosure agreement. It's a bit like working in MI5, like being a spy, except you don't get to be a spy. Yeah. But on the upside, I get to work with some amazing stars, and one of them is Jorge Garcia, who's this awesome person. He was in Lost and he played Hurley. So if you remember Lost, who doesn't remember Lost? He was like a massive guy. You know, that like even if you haven't seen Lost, I'm sure you've seen the massive guy from Lost. And he's just funny. He's just a really funny guy. The story about how Hurley was discovered was actually pretty cool. Like, apparently Hurley went to play Sawyer, who's like one of the lead characters on Lost, and he was actually kind of a quite handsome guy. And I mean, Jorge is a really nice, funny guy, but one thing he isn't is a kind of sex symbol. You know, unless you're into that kind of thing. And so he went for this interview to get the part of the guy Sawyer. The reason he got a part on Lost wasn't because there was a part for him. Literally, like, the writers saw him, like, the night before in a major comedy program and were like, we have to give him some kind of job. And because there really wasn't a part for him. So obviously they went, oh, okay, there's a big guy, you know, comedy. Which isn't the most politically correct thing. But hey, it worked well. It really worked well for him. He owned the part. Now that Lost is finished, he's going on to this amazing new role where, well, I can't tell you too much because of my non-disclosure agreement, but I just can tell you that he's worth watching. His character is just great. It's got so many kind of ways you could go with it, with the story, you know. There was this guy who leaked a movie early, and I think it was X-Men, it was something like that. Just tell me in the comments, I can't remember what it was. And the reason I've been thrusting this around is literally, this is my notes for today. This tells me exactly what I have to say. That's it. I might put this down now. So basically, Sexy Phil was saying that maybe this guy shouldn't have been prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law, and I think it was quite a severe punishment for basically leaking a movie early. And like, I don't necessarily agree with Sexy Phil. I think, yeah, I can totally understand that loads of movies are leaked before they go out, like, publicly, but that doesn't necessarily mean that it's okay to leak them. I think what a lot of people don't see is that there's a lot of people behind the camera, you know, who actually make their livelihoods from this, and a lot of them are, like, young people, your age, my age, who are helping out on set and who aren't necessarily paid a lot of money, but, you know, if the movie industry collapses because people are leaking and people are allowed to leak, then a lot of people are going to lose their jobs, and I'm going to lose my job. Like, well, I don't work in movies. I'd love to work in movies. I don't work in movies. Maybe one day I'll work in movies. Watch this space. There's a lot of people who rely on the movie and the TV industry, and if everything was leaked on the internet, then a lot of people wouldn't watch TV because, you know, it's all there. I couldn't admit to watching stuff on the internet myself because obviously that's illegal. You know, it happens. You click on a link, you know, Family Guy pops up. Sometimes the internet just takes over, you know. Well, you've been there, you're watching this. It's not going to be good for the economy if we're constantly leaking stuff on the internet. No one's getting punished, everyone's getting away with it. And, like, I hate having a non-disclosure agreement. Do you know how hard it is to keep in all of this stuff, which I know? There's just some amazing things which you're going to see in this show, and I thoroughly recommend you watch it. It comes out on the 16th. It's on Fox. So this guy leaks, like, X-Men or something like that on the internet, and he gets hit by a massive punishment, and, like, people are saying, well, you know, this isn't really fair. I mean, all he's done is, like, leak this video. People do it all the time, right? But, yeah, people don't do it all the time. Actually, what you see is that people will leak videos as soon as they hit movie theatres, or they'll leak videos when they get previews, but if they leak videos which are not cut properly, I've seen some of these edits, and trust me, like, you just watch it, and you're like, my god, how will this ever make it to broadcast? And this is on big shows, you know. It's like if Harry Potter was released before, like, the last chapter had been written. Harry Potter references, nerdfighters. I don't know that. I don't know the simple thing. I think it's that. Tell you what, I'm gonna look this up. It's actually quite painful, you know. Nerdfighters, yeah. My post-it note fell off. The whole reason behind us not sharing it is that the excitement is there for the people who are going to watch it. I really want to answer some questions about the media because, like, I've worked in the media now for 3 years, maybe, on some pretty decent programs. I've been really lucky. Like, I worked on Man vs. Wild, I worked on Vice Swap. Admittedly, things like Vice Swap, I was making tea for the people who were actually doing the work. I'm hoping within about a year or so to actually get in some proper editing, so you might see the kind of stuff which I do on the TV. You'll hopefully see something which I'm doing where I get to chase bears around the wood, which would be awesome if I got the job, which I'm keeping my fingers crossed I will. Which will be coming out in the summer in the UK. I might get my face on TV, but it's more likely I'll just be running around in the background, as I usually do. Hopefully not at night this time. But in the meantime, I'd like to give you guys an opportunity to ask me questions about the media. I can tell you anything which isn't covered by my non-disclosure agreement. So I'll give you some examples of questions I cannot ask.
So, just this guy I know, what happens in episode 3 of ALCATRAZ? How much does it cost to film a show like ALCATRAZ?
That's it for this week. Please subscribe and recommend me to anyone who you know who is likely not to be annoyed by the fact that you're recommending some random guy on YouTube. You're my future subscriber. I'm just this guy, you know. So, see ya.